Okay,
All right.
it's in slideshow now. So.
And are you comfortable introducing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, are you ready, Lucy?
I am ready.
All right, so take a deep breath, wait about 10 seconds, and go ahead and start.
Okay, good morning, all. Thank you for joining us for our information session for RIC transfer for our Environmental and Sustainability Pathway, Today we have with us the Assistant Director of Admissions, Ms. Lucy Rios, I'm so sorry, Ms. Lucy Rios Saunders, I wrote it down. She's going to be helping us today with understanding the process of transferring in this pathway into majors that are available for you at RIC.
Great.
So take it away, Lucy. Thank you.
I do have a short presentation. What I normally do is I'll start with information on the college, information kind of surface about our programs, majors and whatnot, and then we'll go more in depth. I'll show you kind of pathways and different transfer plans for we have a primary major in this area, as well as some information on some kind of add-ons that you could do to a degree program at Rhode Island College. So Jenna, if you just want to unshare what you have, and I'll go ahead and share.
Okay, I will stop sharing then. Okay, there we go. All right.
Let's see here. There we go. All right. So just some introductory information for those of you who are just kind of having your first kind of contact with Rhode Island College. Just some background. We were started originally in 1854. We're actually the first public institution in the state of Rhode Island. Started as what's called a normal school, so primarily educating the state's teachers. We've definitely evolved since then. Today we are a comprehensive liberal arts college with 5 different schools and about 8,500 students in both the undergraduate and graduate levels. I've listed some points of pride for all of our 5 schools, just for some information. Sometimes students interested in a certain pathway may want to add a minor or have some kind of coinciding interests in other areas. So I've listed them all here for you. For environmental and sustainability, related majors, those will mostly be centered around the Faculty of Arts and Sciences. But as I said, sometimes students choose to accent a major in this area with a minor in another one of the schools. So something like a business minor added on to an environmental studies major, or adding on a certificate in sustainability studies to a major. So there's a lot of ways that you can work it. We do have faculty advising on campus, so you are paired up with a faculty member that helps you make these choices based on what you ultimately want to do with your degree. Since we are fully online, at least for this semester, we're planning on going back on campus for the fall. But before we start offering in-person tours, which hopefully is going to happen towards the end of April, I thought I would show you a couple of pictures of our campus. We do have some fairly new construction that was recently completed within the past couple of years. So you'll find that a lot of your arts and sciences buildings, your general education program classes are going to be in newly renovated facilities. The classes in this pathway are primarily centered around Gage Hall, which is our main arts and sciences building, and Craig Lee Hall right in the middle, which is general education, some arts and sciences, advising and whatnot. I've also included some other pictures to get you kind of a sense of the campus. School of Nursing is one of our larger buildings on campus, and the newly added renovation of Horseman Hall, our School of Education, which is kind of front and center on that main road on our campus. That's due to be finished at the end of this year, if everything goes as planned. I wanted to highlight some of our more popular majors just to get a sense of students on our campus as a whole. We are strong in areas like health sciences. So we have a general health sciences major for anybody who's interested in working in that industry. So not necessarily in a field providing health services, but in the health industry. And I've listed some kind of possible careers associated with it. We have a relatively new medical lab sciences program, which will lead to certification in clinical pathology. Youth development is a major that students are tending to gravitate to. People who have interest in developing community programs, youth programs, after school programs, regardless of the area. This youth development major is paired with a centered area of study. So you could do an environmental studies related major with youth development. What that does is add on a certificate in nonprofit studies and courses that you will need to develop a community program in your area of study. We have community and public health promotion, which is a major that is centered around health education. So with the environmental and sustainability studies, if there's health related issues related to environment that you're thinking about developing education programs to educate the public, community and health would be a nice segue for that. I also added some minors. We talked a little bit earlier about minors to accent majors to help you kind of center around different areas you might be interested in. So we've added programs in data science, journalism, and minors in behavioral neuroscience, queer studies, and cybersecurity. Environmental studies in this pathway, this is probably the biggest major where we see students transferring in. Our environmental studies program is an interdisciplinary program, meaning it combines courses in different departments. So sciences, anthropology courses, sociology courses to get you that environmental science experience, but also education in the bigger picture related to humans and their environment. I've added some career areas that are nice segues for this bachelor's degree program, and there are a lot of them. This is a growing industry. Natural resources management, environmental education, consulting on environmental issues, policy, even things like ecotourism, environmental journalism, agriculture. These are all areas of careers that complement the major very well. We also have a good number of students that are interested in our bachelor's to master's programs here, so I've added those for you. This is just a one-year add-on, so you go through the process of getting accepted into the 5-year program. Around the time you earn about 60 credits. If you're accepted, you can start taking grad courses in your last 2 years in the bachelor's program, and that'll allow you to just do one additional year beyond the bachelor's to earn your master's degree. One of the things we take pride in on our campus is not just the education inside the classroom, but again, the bigger picture, getting you that real world experience and something on your resume before you graduate. We find it really increases students' chances as far as employability after graduation. There's various ways that we do that. One of the things I love about our programs is although we do have graduate programs, they are relatively small. So that allows undergraduates to participate in a good amount of research with faculty members in their area of study. And we do have a number of faculty members on campus that do research in areas of environmental studies and sustainability. So you do have an opportunity to gain that research experience as an undergraduate student working in conjunction with faculty members in their areas of research. Another great thing, as I mentioned, is you are paired with a faculty member in your major. So that allows for another layer of advising, not just on the classes you're going to take, but also on the choices that you make as far as out of the classroom opportunities, internships, research opportunities, both on and off campus. So they kind of help you develop that full picture with the sight of what do you want to do after graduation, what classes can you take, and what other experiences can we get you so that you are rounding out your education and your experience so that you're ready once you graduate to go into the workforce. We do have a very active study abroad program. I've listed some of the countries where students do have study abroad experiences. There are many more, but these are some of the primary ones that we do work with on students exchange programs. We also have a program called National Student Exchange, which is an exchange program within North America. So we have a network of colleges and universities in the United States as well as in Canada, and that allows you to take a semester or a couple of semesters at another school within this network. The good thing about National Student Exchange is it's no extra cost tuition-wise. So you're paying Rhode Island College tuition when you are active in the National Student Exchange program, no matter what school in that National Student Exchange network you attend. Another great thing that we did was with our general education program, we revised it within the past few years in collaboration with professional organizations and corporations in the area, gaining feedback from them about the skills that they find valuable in their employees and using that information to incorporate those skills in our general education curriculum. So everybody that graduates from Rhode Island College is learning communication skills, learning how to write in their area of study, and graduating with at least elementary level knowledge of a second language. Those were the top 3 items that we gained as feedback that are valuable to employers in our area. And then our Career Development Center, which offers a multitude of resources for students, from job shadowing if you're looking at careers, preparation for your interviews, gaining feedback on your resume, job and internship fairs. And these services are available to current students and also to alumni. So even after you leave Rhode Island College, you are welcome to come back and use the resources of our Career Development Center. We also have an online job board where we post jobs for both current students and for alums. I did list some scholarships for students. We have a lot of questions from students about financial aid. The academic scholarships for transfer students are listed here. Our primary one is going to be our Transfer Scholar Award. It requires a minimum of a 3.25 GPA. And it also asks that you submit a FAFSA, because the criteria for this Scholar Award is a combination of academics and demonstrated financial need, which we do get from that FAFSA form. That FAFSA form opens in October every year. For us, the deadline for this coming fall was March 1st, but you can still fill it out. That doesn't mean you will be eligible for aid. That's just the priority deadline. So if you are applying for fall, I do suggest you complete the FAFSA as soon as possible if you haven't done so already. If you are the child or grandchild of a RIC alum, we do have alumni awards available to students. And then we have something called the RIC Foundation, which is scholarships of a wide variety funded by our generous alums and people associated with Rhode Island College. And they really do range. They can be related to a certain major or a certain background or living in a certain town. The people who fund these scholarships do help set the criteria based on how they want to give their funding. So if you're looking for additional sources of funding, right on our website, there's a link for the Rhode Island College Foundation. They'll list all of the awards that they have available, and there is a good amount of funding available in various scholarships through the foundation. The second piece is going to be the College Honors Program. It is available to transfer students with at least a 3.5 GPA. Honors program has 2 different components. First being honors courses within your general education program. Class size on campus is small as is, but these are typically even smaller, about 12 to 15 students per class, and that allows for more roundtable discussion, going more in depth into topics. The second piece is going to be departmental honors. So you would be paired with a faculty member in your academic major and work with them on a topic throughout your last 2 years at the school. It can be a research project or some other sort of presentation, and you present that at a symposium at the end of your time at RIC in your senior year. That allows for a special distinction at graduation. It's on your transcript if you're applying to any graduate programs that you graduated from an honors program at RIC. And then other little bells and whistles associated with the honors program. There are scholarships available, different honors related social academic activities, conferences, research opportunities. We even have honors-based housing on campus if you choose to be a resident student. And for those of you who are lucky enough to have an area of special talent in the arts, theater, music, we do have talent awards available to students as well. The application process for transfer students is fairly simple. As a student who's done a full year's worth of college level work, which is the level that we use to consider a transfer student, it's different from first year where we're using your high school record to try to predict how well you would do in college. If you're a transfer student with at least 24 credits, you've already demonstrated how you would do in college. So that's all we need for a transfer application. A minimum of 24 credits earned in college and a minimum 2.0 GPA. If you have fewer than 24 earned credits, you would be considered a first year student. So you would still be evaluated by your high school record. That doesn't mean the credit that you've completed is not transferable. Our general transfer policy is that any academic level course you've taken at CCRI with a grade of C or higher is transferable. And in some cases, we even accept D courses from CCRI, depending on what the class is, as elective only. If you need that extra credit to get to your degree, we'll accept some of those D courses as elective credit. For the application for transfer admission, we just require the Common Application. I've put the website here, www.commonapp.org. Once you get on there, you just complete that transfer application. Make sure you're completing the transfer app. It's shorter than the first year application. You don't need to do an essay. No recommendations are required. We do have a $50 application fee, but once you get into that Common App, there is an option to request a waiver. And you can do that right through Common App. If it is an economic hardship for you to pay that $50 application fee, it is no problem to waive that. And we do require official transcripts from all colleges that you have attended. So not just CCRI, but if you took a class at any other schools, we do require those transcripts as well. Deadline for fall admission is June 1st. Deadline for spring is November 15th. And then I've put FAFSA deadlines here for you as well. The FAFSA deadline, actually, it's not much first. We've extended it to April 15th due to COVID. So April 15th is going to be the deadline for this coming fall. Usually it is March 1st for regular admission. We've just extended it for students because of the delays caused by COVID. FAFSA for the spring is November 15th. Keep an eye out in your email. Once you do submit that Common Application, you'll be receiving login information for what's called MyRIC. MyRIC is our online portal where you're able to check the status of your application. You can see when we've received transcripts, you can see when you've been admitted. It really allows you to kind of keep tabs on your application as it moves through the process. We do notify students in MyRIC once you are accepted. So once that acceptance goes through, it instantly pops up on that main screen in MyRIC. We do also notify students by email and also snail mail, but the fastest way to get your decision is through your MyRIC account. Once you are admitted, within a week or so after your acceptance, you should be receiving through that MyRIC again, an evaluation of your credit, as well as your financial aid package once you, if you have submitted your FAFSA as part of the application process. Once you have that information, you'll have what you need to make a decision as to whether you want to attend. Once you do that, your next step would be to enroll, which you can also do through MyRIC. At that point, that portal becomes a Rhode Island College student account. So you'll be able to do everything a Rhode Island College student can do through that same MyRIC. It really does help to have one login that moves you through that entire process. You'll be able to access your RIC email at that point. You can register for your orientation session at that point. This coming fall, our orientation will be fully online. So it's two components. It's a self-directed set of modules for the first piece where you learn about all the services that we have available on campus. And then the second piece would be a faculty advisor meeting where you talk about your specific program, go through all the course requirements, develop a plan, and register for your first semester classes. You'll also have contact with our student orientation leaders who host different types of Google Meets and social events online as part of the orientation program. Now, I did want to go through the environmental studies major, which is the primary major in this area. So let me just call that up for you so we can take a look at it together. And we're going to be going to the Rhode Island College website. So the Rhode Island College main page, if we click on academics right here at the top, it's going to list under majors and programs the full list of majors that we have available on our campus. This is useful for students who know they want to do something in the environmental studies area, but also need to look at other majors. There might be a nice complement to this area in other academic departments on campus. But let's start with environmental studies. So the environmental studies major, the website is right here, and they actually have some comprehensive information for students here. Every academic department website will have an introduction to the program, list program goals, list information about the program. If there's any specific requirements for completion of the program, it will list that for you. It lists every class that you need to take as well. So for this environmental studies program, there is the introductory course in environmental studies. And as I said, it's interdisciplinary. So you'll see courses in different academic areas, and you select one from each of these sections. So you would have to take a statistics course because with environmental studies, sometimes there's analysis you have to do. You would select one from the professional writing category, one from the natural environment category, one from the cultural environment category, one from the human environment interface category. And again, your faculty advisor helps you make these selections based on what it is you want to do with this degree. So there's a large amount of adaptability with this major. There's so many different fields you can go in with a degree in environmental studies that that it's nice to have a way to adapt it. And then from your depth courses, you select 4. So again, if you want to focus more on research, if you want to focus more on the scientific aspect, if you want to focus more on the policy aspect, there's ways to adapt this major. They do have information that's more specific about the program. They have a number of handouts for students as well that'll list information that's very specific, employability, different information. So that's a good resource for you in relation to this program. And then, you can get back to the main page here. It'll list some information about your senior capstone. So you have a few choices with your capstone course. You can either do field study, you can do an internship, or you can do an academic seminar. Again, it's that adaptability based on what you want to do with the program. For every major that we have available, we have what's called an academic roadmap. So the link to it is right here. Also on that majors page, if you look next to every major, you'll see a little map pin. If you click on that map pin, you'll be able to access the roadmap for that specific major. But yeah, let's use this link. And it'll bring you through to the environmental studies roadmap. The first page will list all of the courses that you need for the major. And this is something that a faculty advisor will work with you on at orientation, looking at this roadmap, seeing what courses you have in transfer and checking them off this list. Now, the next pages tend to be helpful for transfer students in that it blocks out this major in terms of a 4-year plan. So it'll give you a plan of courses to take each semester to be able to graduate in 4 years. So what you would do is look at this and based on what you get in transfer credit, you would check the transfer courses off of this list. Your advisor will help you to go back and see what you might have missed in the first 4 semesters, and that's most likely where you would start as far as courses taken. This just outlines full-time fall, spring semesters. Obviously, we have 5 different sessions where you can take classes. So we have our fall, spring, our shorter summer sessions, 2 summer sessions, and also an early spring session, which is the gap between fall and spring semesters, where we do have classes available. So there are ways to adapt this, whether you want to do full-time, part-time, just take classes fall, spring, want to take classes all 5 sessions. That's what your faculty advisor will work with you on. Developing a game plan and courses to take each session based on what you want to do as far as course load. I did want to, because we have a CCRI to RIC transfer advisor that's normally at these sessions. What she does, her name is Sarah Riley, is she will work with students while they are at CCRI, helping them make course selections at CCRI with the ultimate goal of transferring into a specific major at RIC. So I do always suggest students that are starting at CCRI or even in their first year at CCRI that they meet with Sarah, just to make sure that the courses that they're taking will ultimately go towards the bachelor's degree at our school. And she's super helpful with students. She does meet with students over Zoom, offer advising on majors, and offer advising on selections for your course schedule. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop her information into chat. Her name is Sarah Riley. And her email is sriley, S-R-E-I-L-L-Y, @ric.edu. And she's the CCRI to RIC transfer advisor. And again, I really do suggest you contact her if you're needing more advice as far as course selections. Once you're ready to transfer over, we do pre-admission advising. If you need any help with the application process, I am the person that you would contact. Again, my name is Lucy Saunders. My email address is lsaunders, S-A-U-N-D-E-R-S, @ric.edu. You can also use our general admissions email for general questions. transfer@ric.edu is our main email address. So you can use that email as well. And that's all I have today. I want to thank you for joining me, and we'll bring Jana back.
Hello, Lucy. Thank you so much for that. That was so informative and so thorough. I'm like, I might go back to school myself. So that was I appreciate that. So we're just going to go ahead and wrap up now. Thank you for providing those email addresses. And if students have any questions, they can also contact the guided pathways. I'm going to, I'm going to stop the share so that I can get this better ready to close out the session. Oh boy. Okay, now let's try this again. I'm sorry. I'm just getting used to this. Okay, there we go. Make it big like that. Okay. So now everyone can see my screen. So I want to thank everyone for joining us. If you have any other questions or concerns, don't hesitate to contact any of the pathway navigators. You can find our information at ccri.edu/pathways. Also, I wanted to promote, we're having a virtual job fair on April 14th of the upcoming month from 1 to 4, and that's the web link that you can use to access it. So I want to thank everyone for viewing this today, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you.